If you've ever wanted to become a TEDx speaker, but you are not sure about where to apply or how to apply, and even what organizers look for when vetting application, this video is for you. So welcome to my channel. I'm Fatuem. I'm a TEDx speaker myself. I'm also the organizer of TEDx Aga Street, and on this channel, I teach you how to build, market, and monetize your personal brand with clarity and confidence. And as part of that is getting on platforms that really help you boost your career and show you to the world. And so welcome, and if you have any question, feel free to leave it in the comment section. I will do my best to answer it. But in the meantime, let's just dive into it. So I'm an organizer of a TEDx event, right? And I get a lot of questions, and this video really is to be able to address some of those questions and also talk about some of the things we consider as organizers when we are vetting applications. So first thing first, let's talk about eligibility. I get this question a lot of time. Who's eligible to apply? Anybody. There is no restriction on who can apply, regardless of your age, your gender, your race, your background, your degree, your qualification. Anybody can apply, because what we are looking for are ideas, not necessarily something that is related to your background or qualification. So anybody can apply. Question number 2 I often get is, does it cost anything to apply? It costs $0 to apply. And that's also one of the problem, because it gets very difficult for people to actually get accepted. So there are a lot of people who actually monetize the process of helping you apply. But as organizers, we do not take any money from you to apply, because TED have a very strict rule. An organizer cannot become a speaker. An organizer cannot become a sponsor. So if you are also a sponsor, you cannot become an organizer or a speaker. So it's 3 separate categories that does not overlap. Speakers are different, sponsors are different, organizers are different. So in that case, as a speaker, unless in a case where you wanted to help us share our package, our funding proposal with other people to help us get funding, but as speaker, you have no financial obligation on you except your personal expenses. So that's something to remember. Now, another thing that often come up when people are looking to apply, especially to our event, oftentimes people will reach out to me and they say, oh, Fatu, I want to be a speaker. I want to apply to your event. And I often lead with the question, why? Why do you want to be a speaker? Why do you want to be on the TEDx stage? And one of the common questions that I often get is, oh, I want to share my story. I experienced this kind of traumatic event that time, and I want to share my story. So I want to, it's all about the mean. And I'm a storyteller. I love story. I love good stories. I love stories I can learn from, that I can share, that I can help amplify. However, when it comes to TED, it's a little different, because what we are looking for is an idea, not necessarily the story. And the reason you see a lot of people have traumatic stories or experiences they share is because oftentimes a lot of life lessons come through pain and struggle and trauma. Not necessarily the only place for ideas, but oftentimes we learn so much through trauma and difficulty. However, that does not mean the story itself is what we are looking for. We are looking for what you learn as a result of that story or that experience. So whenever you're thinking about preparing your application or whatever, think about it more as a workshop or a training for your audience, rather than just sharing a story. Because even as a coach or as a speaker, when people hire us, they don't care about our story. They care about how we can solve their problem with our story, our experience, or whatever we have. So think about it that way. So based on that, how do you get to a point where you say, okay, this is a really good idea that will help people, and that will also really impress the judges to understand that, okay, this is very much needed. I like to do a little workshop for people, and that is first thinking about the idea. Before you do any application, you reach out to any organizer, think about what you're gonna be teaching the audience and why it's important. How do you go about doing that? So first, write down random ideas, the top 10 to 20 ideas that you think you can speak on. And it could be the craziest ideas ever, right? It's okay. As long as it's an idea, it doesn't have to be proven based on research. It just have to be something that we can imagine, that we can also be able to really talk about and make a difference, because that is about ideas that inspire action. So write down 10 to 20 ideas that you have that you think you can speak on. After then, shortlist those ideas to your top 3 to top 5. So you have random ideas. Now shortlist them down. Once you shortlist them, you start to vet those shortlisted ideas so that you can get the best out of them. How do you get the best out of them then? First is to basically do a research on each question. Go to YouTube and look at what's available versus what's not available. Let's say you wanted to talk about anxiety. So what you would do in that case would be go to YouTube, in a search bar, go to write anxiety TEDx talk. You will see all the TEDx talks that are based off anxiety. Watch some of them and get ideas. And you watch them, some of the things you can also note from that is, what are people talking about? What do you wish they were talking about that they are not talking about? And what can you do differently? Because if everybody's talking about something, you don't want to talk about it, because then if it's already there, I most likely wouldn't want it. There were some people who pitched in really good ideas last year, but because those ideas was like so much on TED and YouTube that we just couldn't pick it. So be mindful, and if it's an idea that's already there, unless you're bringing something totally new or you're challenging those ideas, most likely it wouldn't be passing. So once you do that for all the ideas, that all the 3 to 5 ideas, you most likely will come up with, you'll be able to shortlist them down to like your top 2 or top 1. Then the question that come up for the shortlist, or the remaining 2 or 3 ideas will be, why are you the person to speak on that idea? So why you? That's where your story comes in. That's where your experiences come in. Like I said, they are just vehicles. So you'll be able to say, oh, because I experienced this personally, or I researched it, or I work in this area, or I work with a client who's done X, Y, Z. So that make you qualify. It's not necessarily based on your age or your resume, but like something that connects you to why you have to be a person to talk about it. And then the next thing you can look at is, why now? Like if you wanted to talk about something, it obviously should be relevant to the people in the room and even the people that are going to watch it after. You don't want to talk to us about something that happened in the 1990s when it's not that 1990s is not a part, but just like you don't want to talk to us about something that happened so long ago that we listening in the room just can't relate to it. If you're talking to us about history, you should be able to talk to us about something that you could say, oh, it happened long ago, but here is how it applied to now. Why we need to go back to it, because it's very important for where we are headed. So being able to create that connection, yes. Otherwise, most likely not. So why now is a very important question that helps us understand the urgency of why we need that now on our platform. And then the last thing to look at that a lot of people miss out on is the takeaway. Like I said, it's about the idea. What can I take away from your idea that by the time I'm done listening, if I run a company, I can go to my employees and say, man, we are going to change our policies. This has to go, or we need to do this, and this differently. Or if I'm an individual and I go to my house and I can be like, oh my God, I didn't know this was possible. I think I want to do this, So my own talk was about how we can journal using fiction. Like there are a lot of people who talk about journaling, like it's been around forever, but rarely do we really talk about the power of fiction when it comes to trauma healing. And if I write books, and most of my stories are based on real life events depicted by fictional characters. So how do you use fiction to really be able to process your own trauma instead of just journaling like everybody tell us? So that makes it different, so that if somebody listen to my talk, they could be able to sit down on their own and do what I taught them, right? So think about the takeaway, and that takeaway could be like a workshop. It could be just something that people could be able to implement, like an action. It's ideas that will inspire action. So maybe it could be a movement that you're starting, whatever it is. But remember, there are no politics, religion, and stuff. But yeah. So once you have figured all of that out, you most likely will be able to come up with the best idea. So once you have done all of that, go to Google and search TEDx event listing. So once you go to TEDx event listing, you will see all of the TEDx events that are happening. What you have to do, just go for your location. I'm in Halifax and my event is the only event in Halifax right now. So what I would do rather is just put in Ontario here, so that, but you can put wherever you live in. So when you put in Ontario, you see all the events that happen in Ontario. Okay, this is a lot of event. We don't need all of that. But then you go ahead, you copy the event, and then you go open a new search bar, and then you go, okay, and then you go to their official website. So you'll be able to see the event official website. Most of the, oh, this is so cool. Oh my God. I should do this. I should definitely do that for my platform. On our website, I'm definitely gonna list all my speaker talks like this on our website. It seems like a lot of work, but it also seems really cool. I like it. Okay, I like it. I'm gonna do it on our own website. Okay, but here, so once you come, you'll see most likely we'll have like call for speakers or how to apply to be a speaker. So let's just click this one. You see the application open, and then you can read through it, you answer the questions. So this part then wouldn't be difficult once you already went through the initial process of mapping out your idea. You can always refine some stuff, but like the basic or the core thinking stay the same once you are thinking about applying for a TED event. I think at this point I've already addressed everything, and good luck with your application. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button if you find this helpful, and check out my other videos, and have a wonderful rest of your day.